Welcome to episode 6 of Warrior Wealth Wednesday. It's a hot day here in Perth, Western Australia today. We've got about 41 degrees, so it's quite warm. So welcome. This is step 5, episode 6, step 5 of the 10 steps to wealth. I'm going to get my computer set up a bit better there. That's better. Awesome. I'm going to talk today about reversing the damage of what you've been told about money. So I'm Fiona Jean, your host for this show. Hi Jai, thanks for joining. Purposeful Warrior, my passion is to teach others to share my experience and wisdom so you too can have generational wealth for not only yourself, but also the legacy that follows after you. The dollars that live on, if you will. I'm going to poke the bear, speak my truth, share what I know, my knowledge, wisdom, experience, and also the speaker that I invite onto these shows, not necessarily this one, but the other two that we have. I'm going to invite them to do the same thing. In this show, I'm sharing the valuable insights of one of my most impactful mentors, Counsel. So I'd like to encourage you to join me with your conscious cuppa. I have my coffee and my water here, a notebook, a pen, somewhere quiet to sit and engage. I look forward to any comments you have. If you're watching the replay, as usual, #replay, let me know where you're coming from. And again, tag me in any questions and we'll be sure to send them out to you, reply to them, sorry, I should say. And I suggest you like and follow the Purposeful Warrior page. Set the notifications to on so that you're alerted when I go live on these very important shows. Like I say, it's not FJTV. If you like what you hear and you want to know more about the Warrior Wealth series, just comment help and one of the team will connect you with the replays. Most of them can be found on the YouTube channel as well. So lots of free resources to be given away. So let's get into it. Step 5, reverse the damage of what you've been told about money. Now that you've begun to understand in the earlier episodes, or I hope you're beginning to understand the impact of the internal conversations you have with yourself. That was really what we talked about in step 1. The importance of switching your thinking in step 2, from that employee to entrepreneurial thinking. Step 3 was the magical formula for time and money freedom. If you have watched that one, you need to go and check out what that formula was. And last week, we talked about unlearning that you can unlearn what you've learned already. And you might find that, like I said last week, and I'll say it again, things are going fast, you're a bit overwhelmed. It's perhaps some new concepts that you haven't heard of before. That's all perfectly normal. Just want you to just trust in yourself. Take your time to work through it at your own pace. Everything you need exists in the minds of those who successfully journeyed before you. It exists in the knowledge of successful people. It exists in their books, their wisdom, their support networks. Tap into it, guys. Tap into it. So step 5 is all about understanding that we can reverse the damage of what we've been told about money. We can do things different. It's a choice. There is a universal law that states success on any journey of personal development is directly proportionate to the extent you're willing to let go of the past. And that's the past in terms of experiences, beliefs, attitudes, thinking, knowledge. So if you want to successfully get to the other side of the river, so to speak, you must leave the bank you're standing on, right? You can't get to the other side without leaving where you are. Make sense? I hope so. So remember, the success on the other side of your personal barriers, if you let go of what you've been hanging on to, you will learn to fly. You will learn. Yes, okay, perhaps you'll drop in the water once or twice. That's normal, right? We do these things, but you will eventually learn to grow your wings and to fly into financial freedom, the time, money freedom that you desire. In order to achieve this success, however, you must accept that what's been learned can be unlearned, and that you have new skills, new ways of doing things, new ways to provide results. Because Einstein once said that it's our present conditions and circumstances are a result of the current level of thinking that we have. So if you want anything to change in your circumstances or your present environment, or the results that you're getting right now, then you must change the level of thinking that's responsible for them. Trust this makes sense, guys. Give me a thumbs up or some love, let me know. He also said that significant problems we face today cannot be solved with the same level of thinking that created them. So from his ideas, we can understand now that in order to advance any particular situation or circumstance or results, if you want to get more of something that you're doing, it's working, but you need to, your desire is to have more of it, then you must begin to think differently. Because there's a tendency for most people to think that real financial freedom is beyond them. And this is because we live in a society that encourages to doubt ourselves. Please stop it. Don't do that anymore. The starting point of all achievement is desire. Keep this constantly in mind. Keep it constantly at the forefront of your mind. Weak desires bring about weak results. Just as a small amount of fire makes a small amount of heat. And I think that was, I probably plagiarized it or botched it up a little bit, but I'm sure it's a Napoleon Hill quote from memory. Excuse me a moment. Because this doubt that we're encouraged or conditioned to have, if you like, is part of a construct of self. And it's termed self-doubt, right? And it's something that's being manufactured. It's not real. It encourages mediocrity. Because when sufficient doubt is established in ourselves, the ability to undertake greatness or great deeds or something, really courageous gets assigned to others, doesn't it? Think about a situation for yourself, perhaps. Is there a time when you have wanted to do something really, wanted to just do something, get involved with it and really get involved with it and see it through, and yet you've doubted yourself? So you assigned that task to someone else took your glory or did it for you. It's a shame when that happens. We see it so many times, and I've done it so many times myself as well. Because when it happens, the majority soldier on with self-doubt and never really advance their position. The seeds of self-doubt are sown at an early age and maintained by conventional wisdoms, the systems, if you like, that negativity. That's how they maintain these seeds of self-doubt. Because think of the schooling system, the education process, if you like, largely teaches us how to sit down, do as you're told, learn and repeat stuff back to the educators. Well, individual cases may differ. We're not all the same, cut from the same cloth, and I appreciate that. I'm sure that there are many committed teachers in the system. The fact remains that the classrooms are generally overcrowded, and there's precious little time for real understanding or knowingness to emerge, which is that rote learning, regurgitation of what's in the book, what's written on the board in the textbook. Seldom is there any real depth of learning, anything outside the established curriculum, which seeks to prepare, our youngsters, if you like, for a market that requires a lifelong job of servitude. And like we know, job is just over broke. What was the core value of schooling about achievement? What do you think? I don't think so. If you want to defend the current education system, then you'll find ways to defend it, and that's perfectly fine. We're all entitled to our opinions. We're growing up here. I'm poking the bear. This is what I'm going to do. You don't have to agree with me. But I'd love you to for a moment just to suspend any judgment and just to listen, just to allow the words to sink in, just to hear a different perspective. Because if you don't want to, that's okay. The choice is always yours. And if you want to take a few steps back, many well-credentialed observers say that mass education is the handmaiden of mass enculturation. It's building society the way that we want it, or the way that the powers that be want it, not I want it, certainly not. Research into the world's most successful people in business and finance reveals that many never completed formal schooling. I always wondered, why is that? Why are they successful when they didn't finish their schooling? And as a result of this, I ask the question, is the core value of schooling about achievement and success? Or Could it be about obedience, predictability? In his book, If You Want to Be Rich and Happy, Don't Go to School, Robert Kiyosaki asks lots of different things, but I've written a few things down here that I wanted to sort of mention. You know, and perhaps, are you wrestling with any of these problems? Are you struggling along from paycheck to paycheck? Is your job perhaps coming obsolete, especially in this world that we're finding ourselves? You hate your work. You've reached a promotion plateau, perhaps. There's nowhere else for you to grow or to move to. You're earning too little to ever afford your dreams. Things, you just can't see another way forward. You've got too little stored away to live comfortably in retirement. You know, because if you're resonating with any of those things that I'm saying here, that if you're like most of us, then the years of school did little to prepare you for the challenges of the real world, did they? If you're really honest with yourself, did it? They're more likely to have planted seeds of financial and emotional failure in your life. So this is why this session is all about realizing that we can reverse the damage that's been done, the damage of enculturation. We can begin to reverse it. Because in reality, schools are part of the conditioning process for this society we live in. You know, generally, it's a process where central interests lie in teaching us how to be good citizens, to get good jobs, to be good workers. And as a result, like I said, the job becomes an acronym for just over broke. And this short 10-step series is the beginning of reversing the damage of you know, the enculturation that mass educative processes show. And because I really want you to see that there can be a much brighter future for you, for your family, for your financial needs. The education process is not teaching people how to perform at a higher level. It just isn't. It's not teaching us how to perform at the higher end of our potential. It's teaching people how to tap into a small part of their potential in order to be useful to the needs of those who live within the confines of, you know, this particular culture and society. Let that sink in. It must be like this. Otherwise, society as we know it just wouldn't work. Because the majority of us wanted to be financially free. The current system would collapse. Can you see that? Because the way it's set up, it requires the majority to be workers so that minority can be financially free. That 3% we talk about. I'm sure you've heard that mentioned before. Most critical decision you need to make, really, I want you to be really honest with yourself here, is to decide which side of the divide you wish to remain on. Because the divide's not going anywhere. In reality, it isn't. There might be a slight shift from 3 to 5%, something like that, if more people wake up, especially with the environment that we're in. Maybe even 8%, who knows? You know, if people really, really do start to wake up to what's happening in the world, especially in terms of our financial future. And if you don't have your financial affairs in order, I strongly recommend that you start to do that. Because we know a lot of people want to argue with this, and that's okay, you know. However, we're not attempting to be right here. Everything has a cause and an effect because of that cause. So if you are to succeed on your journey, which I truly hope you will, it is important that you begin to make observations about everyday life and begin to ask the question, why is that so? Why is it so? Why do we do it like that? You must ask questions that attempt to discover why things are like they are. And in this way, you can attempt to understand the causes behind why things are as they are. Because when you can truly understand the causes of the effects, you can then begin to change the cause so you get a different effect. Does that make sense? I hope so. I'm sure you want a different effect in your life. So you need to change the causes that are creating the effects. With regards to school, we're simply basing observations on the fact that the majority of people who go through the traditional education process and obey the instructions of conventional wisdom somehow end up broke after a productive work life. There must be a reason for this, right? And there must be a cause. Where does it all start and how is it reinforced? It's got to be the school system. It has to be. Robert Kiyosaki alludes to the systemized negativity in the educational system by arguing that you need to identify and reverse the harmful programming you unconsciously received in the classroom. Learn new habits that will set you up for financial and emotional success right now. And is he successful? So let's listen to him, shall we? The old saying, you cannot make a silk purse out of a sow's ear, is relevant here. And it allows the learning of a very important lesson. Your present financial circumstances are a result of your dominant expectations. I know this might sound a bit weird, but just bear with me. Seeds cannot germinate and grow to maturity if you plant them in dry, unfertile soil. I think we all know that. And this seems true with humans, with us. While consciously you might wish for things to be better, a check of your current results may demonstrate that subconsciously you're setting yourself up for much less. Remember, research demonstrates that the subconscious program is formed from birth to age 10, right? Remember that we talked about that in one of the earlier steps. It's during this period that you learn your present money habits. And research also demonstrates to us that unless you learn to do things differently, you'll use your present money habits for the rest of your life. We went through this in step 4. And ever since Paul became financially free in 1998, he's been teaching people how to move from servitude and sacrifice to a world of enterprise and achievement. Your subconscious program is formed from birth to the age 10. That's where it all starts, in those first formative years. And my passion to educate for generational wealth is as strong today as it was back when I began. In fact, I can honestly say that the passion has grown, especially in these turbulent financial times since the world financial crisis began, really, back in 2004, 2008. Yeah, different crashes, different things happening. Paul's been demonstrating and teaching the foundational blueprints to lives of prosperity and freedom of choice. If you want to prosper in the years ahead, you're going to learn to access new initiatives, skills, enterprise, attitudes, so that you can become financially free. Your conscious mind has 90% more power to achieve things than your conscious mind does. The subconscious has no reasoning. It doesn't reason with anything. It doesn't know right from wrong, what's good from bad. It doesn't know the difference between rational or irrational, or reality or absurdity. It's your consciousness that knows the difference, but it only has 10% of the power of your brain. Wow. Let that sink in. Your consciousness that knows the difference between what's real and what's not, and what's rational and what's not, only has 10% of the power of your brain. But yet, because the majority of your actions and behaviors emanate within your subconscious, it's set to achieve whatever story you program it with. So no matter that, because it doesn't have reasoning facilities, you see, it doesn't have the ability to see right from wrong, or good from bad, or rational from irrational. It only accepts the messages you feed it. It accepts them as true and doesn't question them, no matter what. So if you focus on difficulties, if you focus on lack of prosperity, if you focus on hardship, on why me, poor me, on fear, on unfairness, on cynicism, on what others are thinking, or how they'll treat you, or as many excuses as you can think why you can't do things, then that is exactly what you're getting, because your subconscious creates all the necessary pathways for you to achieve what you continually focus on. The great mentors have said that what you focus on expands to become your reality. And it's so true. Although you may not be aware consciously of it, your present results are dominant expectations you've been subconsciously processing. It has to be. It's actually what your subconscious is focused on. And because it's focused on these results, these are the results you're getting. Be careful what you set your heart on, for it surely will be yours. I think that's Wealth Emerson. Believe it thus, and it will be done. Your subconscious also has the ability to provide you with whatever you truly believe in and ask for. The only thing you can expect to flow in your life are based on what's flowing out of your life. To change the results, like we say, you need to change the messages that you're giving to your subconscious. If you really want to change your results, change your environment. You can learn what others have learned. It's just a matter of learning, knowing, and doing this within your own reference group that will support and grow with you, not your contraction. You want a fertile environment for growth. There's a great line in the movie Gladiator that delivered in one of the opening scenes, where Maximus, the greatest of all the Roman generals, is preparing his troops for battle against the barbarians. And as he prepares to lead his troops into the fray, he turns to them and says, "In 3 weeks' time, I shall be home harvesting my fields of wheat, where you want to be. Believe it thus, and it will be." So all the great philosophers and thinkers and throughout the ages, have been telling us that the secrets of change, the secrets of achievement, the secrets of wealth all begin with this. That's exactly what you must do to create wealth for yourself. Firstly, you must be able to throw the switch inside your subconscious mind to allow you to believe that you can create time and money freedom that you want. Without the belief, your journey towards, financial freedom, or whatever it is you call it, will be difficult. Because yet with this belief, you'll be able to throw off your conditioning and overcome the obstacles that we place before you, because they're coming, they're there. And you'll know that success is achieved by maintaining, or and maintained by those who keep going. And place messages like "I can" before. So to begin seriously reprogramming your mind, one of the best ways to do that is to have these "I can" messages. And this is something Paul put me onto a while ago now, is that the cellular biologist Bruce Lipton speaks highly, because the process he used to turn his life around, placing "I can" messages into your subconscious mind. It's the psychk process. That's PSYCH-K by Rob Williams. So Google it, Google everything you can on it, find out what you can, read it, research it, and commit it to mind, and to follow the process. Paul's introduced many students to this psychk process, and it's worked for them, and it's not on me, and there's no reason why it can't work for you too. So I'd like to congratulate you. You're halfway through here to these steps, and I know it's a bit of a read and listening to me each week giving highlights of it, but I hope you're enjoying the journey so far, and I want you to be successful. I want you to know that. Knowing that success on your wealth journey has 80% to do with your personal psychology, which is why the first, so many steps are devoted to that, so that you know and understand all the processes involved. It's really important to get the whole picture, before you can start really launching into the practical side of investing or business or entrepreneurial mastery. So congratulations on your journey so far. And remember, make this material your own. Read and read and read. Do what I did. Read it, read it, read it. Absorb it. Take it in. become so deeply immersed that you can influentially teach others like I am. Share this message everywhere. Generational wealth, let it flow. These seeds will sprout later. So next week, in step 6, we're going to talk about the fertility audit. So how fertile are your seeds? Another good one for me to get stuck into that bear, I think. And remember, guys, if you want the book, you'll give me the book, and we'll send you the step 5. There'll be a link posted to this as well, a freebie for this week. I encourage you to do that. So till next time, remember to be your own wealth guru. Do whatever it takes. Read the books, absorb the words, do the exercises, ask yourself the questions. Do whatever it takes. Until next time, bye from me.